Hey guys, thanks so much for coming in for another video today. This is going to be a video about Poshmark, and I'm going to try to tackle the myths and the facts about Poshmark. This is a platform for reselling that I've been doing since day one, since they opened the doors. I've always liked it. I have not always used it to its full potential. I want to share with you what I have learned. I want to dispel some of those rumors out there about it being a very high commission and just right away dismissing it because of the commission and because of other things that they say about it. So we're going to talk about that. I want you to take the time today, though, if you are new to the channel, to go ahead and subscribe. I think you will really enjoy the content here because not only do I talk about reselling, I bring you thrift hauls, I bring you ride-alongs, I show you where I go. I won't share with you exactly the locations because that's really the kind of footwork that you need to do. And it's pretty much garage sales, estate sales, thrift shops, Goodwills, Salvation Armies. But I will take you with me. I will share all of the knowledge that I have as far as the platform and how to best utilize it because I have learned to use it to my full potential, I believe. And I think we never really stop. I think that's the one thing that we should always bear in mind: a mindset of growth, a mindset of how can I get this even to the next level? How do I, maybe sell this where I hadn't sold it before? What should I have a niche? Should I not? And so forth. So there's always room to learn, and I hope that you will take the time also to leave some comments and let us know what you've learned about Poshmark, how you utilize it. If you've never tried it, why not? What are you afraid of? What are your qualms about it? So let's get started with the top myths that or myth and or qualm about it is it's too high of a commission. I won't make any money. Well, I'll have to respectfully disagree because yes, it is 20% of what you will sell the item for. But you have to take into account you are not paying a listing fee. You are not paying to relist that item as you do with eBay and even Etsy. Etsy will charge you very little to list something. It'll be 20 cents for, I think, 3 months. But you have to keep renewing it every 3 months. And then they do charge you also, I think, close to 10%, not quite 10% like eBay does, but they still charge you a little bit. And then you have to factor in shipping. So you have to take into account, what is that buyer willing to pay me for shipping? If I'm just going to sell you a pair of earrings, do you really want to send me, do you really think that I deserve more than $3.50 to ship these? Yes, you can, of course, factor in your cost of shipping supplies and all of that. But again, you're dealing with buyers these days who are absolutely Amazon centric. And Amazon provides free shipping. And I go to Amazon first thing. I don't care if I'm looking for a weed whacker or a shampoo that I don't feel like going to hunt for. I go to Amazon and I know I'm going to find free shipping on there if I look enough. So that is the type of consumer we're looking at today. Now, I'm not telling you to do free shipping. You don't have to you do what you want. I'm just telling you that there are buyers out there who love the fact that things are free. So you're dealing with a public that really likes the free shipping, right? So that's where you have to play with your pricing on Etsy and eBay. You have to factor in the price of shipping into the price of the item so that it can appear to be free, right? Okay. That platform. Now let's take Poshmark. Poshmark is not free shipping, but you can offer free shipping when you do discounts and when you do other things. So they are not necessarily free shipping, but they're only $6.50. So if you're going to ship those 3-pound boots where it would cost you $10 to $12 to ship it on eBay, and you'd have to either factor that into your price or you'd have to charge that price, and that buyer is going to hunt and hunt and hunt until they find a better deal. So, in the end, $6.50 for something like a pair of shoes is really a good deal, especially with other perks that are offered there. So yes, the commission can be high, but you have to really factor in your item, the weight of that item to ship, the scarcity of that item, the desirability of that item, and in the end, 20% really winds up almost the same as what you paid eBay to list it for you. What you paid eBay and running for 30 days or 7 days or however you do your listings, And then I think that you can relist it one more time, but then they do charge you. Then they charge you a final value fee. Then you have to factor in the shipping, or you have to actually charge shipping. And then eBay, on top of that, charges you for adding extra shipping. So that really was helpful for a lot of people, especially the buyers, because there were sellers out there who were gouging with the shipping. So eBay tried to curve that a little bit, and they added on a charge for your shipping. So if you are excessively shipping, you're going to, in the end, get charged for that. Excuse me while I take a chug of my Diet Coke at room temp. I tend to, they in Latin America, they drink their Cokes at room temp, and it's not bad. So in the end, things do factor out, because they factor out pretty equivalent. Very, very equivalent, because, again, like I said, you have to factor in the shipping. You have to pay to list. You have to pay to relist. You have a final value fee as well on eBay. PayPal gets a cut. Shipping is also factored into the price of your commission on eBay. So when you take all that into account, 20% does not sound like a lot to me. It really does factor out in the end, depending on what you're selling, depending on other factors besides that. But the convenience of the $6.50 shipping, flat shipping fee for, I think it's £5, and then you buy an extra label if it goes over that. But it usually doesn't. So people can bundle up things, and they can buy heavy coats and whatnot, and they're going to pay $6.50, and you're going to be able to charge what you normally would on eBay without having to factor in that extra shipping. On to myth number 2. You can sell anything on Poshmark that you can sell on eBay. Now this comes in two folds, okay? One, no, you cannot sell anything that you will sell on eBay. You cannot sell mugs, you cannot sell hard goods. If you're not wearing it on your body, if it's not an accessory or makeup, unused makeup, that kind of thing, you cannot sell it on Poshmark. But that's just a triviality. What really matters in this myth is that you cannot sell frumpy clothes. You cannot sell clothes that are not appealing. You have to take into account the type of site that it is. It's a very fashion-oriented site. So though they may be shopping for plus sizes, or they may be shopping for their husband, or they may be shopping for themselves, men may be shopping for themselves, or a mom shopping for her kids' clothes, she's going to Posh because she wants to see something nicer over there. She wants to be able to say, oh, I got this on Posh. It looked really good. Look at the great deal I got. It's Ralph Lauren, or it's this or that, or it's a Gap, but it's nice, and it's nicely presented. They want to be able to look at your listing and say, that is worth what she's asking for. So no, you cannot just pull any wrinkled shirt, take a picture of it, and expect it to sell on Posh. On eBay, you may be able to do that. Of course, it's not just that eBay is so much more lowbrow than Poshmark. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the Posh buyer is just a little bit more discriminate about how she wants to spend her money. So there's that difference there. There's definitely a learning curve there as to how you can present your items, how you can photograph them, what background you want to use. And backgrounds are so important. Did you guys notice my background? I tried to clean it up a little bit. It was so crowded with so many things. I tried to make it more oriented to what I'm doing here on YouTube, which is talking about accessories, fashion, jewelry, that kind of thing. So I hope you like it. Let me know how you like it in the comments below. I'm still tweaking it a little bit because, the hoarder in me wants to just add on more and more bric-a-brac and trinkets and whatnot. So anyway, but that's what I'm talking about. How you're going to photograph that picture, how you're going to present it, your listing, the way you talk about it. You can't do the same thing that you do on eBay that way, because also eBay is very intricate in their descriptions. So you're able to put down the heel size, the strap size on your purses. They ask for the dimensions and so forth. And on Poshmark, they don't require that. They require the brand and the size, of course. But in order to entice your buyer, you want to make sure that you do give them that information. You want to make sure that you take a picture of that heel, if it's a very high heel, or if it's a flat, is it really a flat, or is it, a little what is it, Cuban heel? But anyway, so just be more detail oriented, be more aesthetically pleasing to the eye on your Poshmark listing. You just don't want to, take a bad picture in the shadow. Please don't put it on the floor. Please, if you don't have a mannequin, at least buy yourself a nice wooden hanger or something pretty to hang it on. Hang it on a armoire or the back of a closet door that's not, dirty or cluttered in any way. Make sure your backgrounds are nice and clean and that only the item is focused on. We don't want to have to figure out if you're selling, the shoes that are on the floor right next to the shirt, or is it the shirt you're selling? What is it that you're selling? We want you to value the item. We want to be able to say, yeah, it's $20, but look how gorgeous it is. It looks new. It looks gorgeous. So let's buy that. All right, so that's myth number 2. Now we're going to go on to myth number 3. You can only sell high-end brands. That is a myth that has been perpetuated for a very long time because Poshmark is definitely a mecca for high fashion and brands and luxury goods. Definitely, people are known for that. They are going there for that, but that is not the only thing that's going to sell. You can have your Gap and your Old Navy and your other brands, your Levi jeans or Lucky brand jeans. You don't have to just sell Nordstrom brands. You don't have to just sell Louboutin shoes or Louis Vuitton handbags or anything like that. You can sell department store brands. You really can, and they do sell because there are people out there who are looking for just a nice black leather handbag. It doesn't have to have a big logo. It doesn't have to have a big name. As long as it is in nice condition and it looks pretty and you've modeled it nicely or you've photographed it nicely, it's going to sell. Granted, it is definitely a place where people are looking for their Louboutins, Louis, Chanel, and all of that good stuff. They're looking for that. Of course they are. But that doesn't mean to say that your department store brands are not going to sell. They are, even Forever 21, things that are pretty common, but they're very fashion oriented. Those things will sell. But if you want to buy a Louis Vuitton at a pre-loved price, most people will go to Poshmark immediately after. Of course, I'm not discounting eBay. eBay is definitely a place to go buy some luxury goods as well. But for some reason, there is that attraction to Poshmark where it's kind of a more personable look about it. It's kind of a more personable ambiance. It almost feels like, since it is called a closet, shop my closet, all of that stuff, it gives it that personable personality to the site. So people like that. People are comfortable with that. I am. And I do look at my Posher's picture. I want to see who she is. I want to see whether she looks like she's going to come back and check her questions, or whether she's just a fly-by-night little flighty teenager who just put a couple of things on and she moved out of town back in college, could care less. I look at that. And that's the difference to me about eBay and Poshmark. It's definitely more personable. Sure, it could be a big corporation selling their things on there, but they're trying to put on a personality like it's not. So that's another thing that I had to tackle. No, it is not just for high-end brands at all. But if you're looking for a high-end brand, that's where people are going. So if you have those designer items, that's where you want to put them as well. All right, on to myth number 4. We are on vintage doesn't sell there. Not true. Vintage does sell there. It sells there very, very well. And of course, your designer vintage is going to do absolutely fabulous. It's going to do really well because people are very much into the 90s Versace, the Chanel classic quilted bags, the Louis Vuitton Speedies, the Murakami multicolors, all of that stuff from the 90s and 80s. People want it and they're going to buy it there. But there's also people who are very much into mid-century cotton dresses, cardigans, pearl embroidered cardigans. Designer will definitely sell, but so will regular, even handmade vintage. It will sell there. There's actually a section. You know how there's the women's, the men's, I think preppy. There's several different sections, shoes and so forth. There's a vintage section there. So do not be afraid to list your vintage clothing as well as your vintage jewelry. I was doing really well with clip-on earrings. I do really well with oversized earrings. I was doing really well with on eBay, and surprisingly enough, I sold a few just recently, a couple of weeks ago, on Poshmark. So people are definitely looking for the look. I don't know if they go completely for the look from head to toe, as I've seen many women do, especially at thrift stores. And I love looking at what they're wearing. They just, some of them are from head to toe, from the hair right down to the platform shoes of the 40s and things. And it's just so, so cute. But that kind of stuff does sell on Poshmark. Don't be afraid to put it on there. Go ahead and cross post to eBay and Etsy if you're inclined to do that. But do not say that Poshmark does not sell vintage or does not sell well. It does indeed sell well, and the jewelry definitely sells very well there. I've also sold some of the triple strand necklaces from the mid-century era that did very well for me as well. So definitely keep that in mind. Vintage does sell. Enough of that myth. Okay, now we are on to, this is the one we hear all the time. Oh, it's too hard. I can't do all that sharing. There's no way I can do all that sharing. It's just too time consuming. I can't believe I have to do that. I would never do that. I was the same way. I said the same thing a couple of years ago. You don't have to share to sell. If you have a Louis Vuitton Murakami multicolor Speedy that was carried by Jessica Simpson back in the 90s, you're going to sell it. Whether you share it or not, you're going to sell it. But it doesn't hurt, and it definitely helps to share it, because you are bringing it right back up to the queue, up to the feed of people, so they're looking at it. And that is no different than going over to eBay and revamping your listing, either repricing it, lowering it, or running a sale, or what else do we do? Moving pictures around, changing the title. All of that helps with your search on eBay, does it not? It does, and it is time consuming. It is very time consuming to put on a sale these days on eBay. I haven't put a sale on eBay in probably 5 months because it is such a pain to do so. They're always tweaking things. They're always changing things where I have to click this and that. I literally have to call in to get help, and I know that if I call in, I'm going to be on the phone for 30 minutes. So what I've been doing over there is just putting things lower and lower. But that's the same thing you're doing with your time on Poshmark when you're sharing. It doesn't take that much longer than it does to go into eBay and tweak those things when you have to share something, when you can share something rather on Poshmark. You can share it to your followers. You can share it at a party. And I love sharing at parties because once you share something at a party, you immediately get people from that party sharing it with you as well, sharing for you. And you get more followers that way. So they have these parties, right? And they're different categories, either luxe or preppy or men's or summer or jewelry. So there are different hours, and we're not going to go into that here on this video. But if you can catch one of those parties, and I'm usually catching them right when I'm sharing my closet, which I only do at the minimum once a day. And when I'm really feeling in the mood, I'll do it 2 to 3 times a day. And I don't do it like religiously. Like I'll start and I'll share maybe my first 20, and then I'll have to go back to work, and then I'll work, and then maybe after work I'll do another 20 or something like that. Or if I just happen to be home when they're having the luxe party and I have maybe 3 handbags that I want to share, I'll do it there. And I also like to share by sharing someone else's. So I'll join the party, I'll pick 2 or 3 people, I'll share some of their things, and they will usually reciprocate. And that's what you want. You want more eyes on your item. But again, that is not taking me no more than what it took me to go into eBay to run a sale, to go into eBay to change pictures, to go into eBay and change the title. It is not anymore. So let's put that myth to rest. Sharing is not that time consuming. Sharing is not required. But if you want to see a generation of sales, if you want to see more eyes on your product like you do when you put a sale on eBay and you start getting sales, that's what will happen when you share. But don't think that it's a whole lot of time, because it's not. All right, on to the next one. Oh, I love this one. Yes, indeed, eBay is more popular, is what we hear all the time. There's no other format like eBay. There's no other venue like eBay. It's global. Yes, it is global. That's fabulous. And I do sell a lot globally, especially those Nike sneakers, guys. I've been selling a lot of my Nike sneakers, those Jordans that are vintage from the early 90s and so forth. They've been moving really well on eBay, but we're not talking about eBay right now. We're talking about Poshmark. And I'll have to respectfully disagree or maybe just add a little bit of a nugget to that, a little bit of an amendment. Yes, it is popular, but Poshmark is growing by leaps and bounds. It is a burgeoning community of sellers, luxury goods, and more that has seen growth. I wish I had a chart to show you but sometimes you don't even have to see that. You see it in media. I just saw a video of Trisha Paytas who gets what, probably 1 million views in a day on most of her videos. Many TV shows don't even get that. And she gets probably that much in one of her videos. So she's got eyes on her, and she was doing a promo, a sponsored video for Poshmark. So if that doesn't tell you that the platform is growing, I don't know what will. Because that to me just opened my, that was this year, but it's been growing in leaps and bounds steady. Like I said, I've been on it since it opened. And I've been selling steadily since it opened, but I have grown since it opened. I have learned to share. I've become an ambassador, and we can talk about that next time we get together. But talking about the burgeoning community of sellers and buyers on Poshmark, it is definitely something to be reckoned with. I'm not saying they're going to compete with eBay or Amazon or Etsy or anything else. They are their own animal, and they are killing it. And I just wanted to tell you, it is definitely something you want to look into if you have not done so already. Do not be afraid of it. It is not more time consuming. It is not more expensive like anything else you've ever done, because the client there, the potential customer there, is definitely different, but it's definitely one you want to tap. So get on there and see what you can do. I think you will really like it. That is the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to dispel today and just tell you a little bit about what I have experienced with Poshmark. I am still learning and growing on there, and I just really, really like it. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't do it when you walked in the door, please come back again really soon. Don't forget to subscribe. There is a little bell right next to the subscription button that you can tap there, and that will notify you when I put up a new video or when I go live. And I love going live with you guys, so I will see you soon. Bye-bye.